Alright, so I'm really tired, so I don't really know how to start this video, but this is my second update for the Frankenly, My Dear, I Don't Give a Pan Project Pan that was created by Jessica Lee and Amanda, I believe. They are a part of the Fantastic Ladies group. I believe this is open to anyone who wants to join. I will link their information below. But this collab is where we work on all of our Franken makeup, and if you are unaware, Franken makeup is where you mix 2 or more makeup items together to create a new color, a new finish, a new whatever. But I really enjoy Frankening because I'm able to create things that work better for me out of things that I didn't like as much, or I just get to be creative, have fun, play with some colors, see what happens. It's just a nice creative outlet. So I'm gonna start by showing you the before and after of the main Tan Pan eyeshadow palette that has the majority of my Franken eyeshadows in it. Alright, so if you knew what my goals were from last month, you know that I clearly did not meet all of those goals. And I mentioned in my past video that this past month I have not been wearing a ton of makeup. School kind of got a bit crazy for a second there, and then I just got tired and stopped caring. But in the past week I've regained a bit of inspiration and motivation, so I've been starting to wear makeup a lot more frequently. But that hasn't been able to make up for the fact that I haven't for the weeks before as much. So it's just, there's some progress. Let's get into it. I do not use this first shade at all. That's fine. This next shade, I think I wanted to re-hit pan on it because I repressed it. I only used it once, however, and I used it near the edges because that's where it was kind of lowest. I wasn't really feeling the shade. It's a very easy shade to work on, but I just was focusing on other shades at the time, and so I didn't really get there. This next shade looks like I made a lot of progress, even though I only used it twice, and that's because it was already very shallow. I didn't realize how shallow it was until I literally hit pan on it the first time I used it this month. I believe one of the looks this month, I was trying something out. I wanted to do kind of like a smoky chocolate with like a pink fade out kind of thing, but it got out of hand because the brown, it's actually the one in my pan, that palette, since it's so much older, the pigmentation is kind of lacking, and so it was a little bit more difficult to do a look like that. I'm wearing that same brown today, but when I use it in a small focused area, it's a lot more easy, and I have to be specific with what brushes I use, I realized, because it took a lot of packing on, and so I used a lot more of this just to try to blend things out, and it still just, I didn't like the look. The shape was, it got out of hand. Whatever, it's fine. I didn't go anywhere that day. But I also used this in a look with this next shade where they were both, this was on the lid, and then I used this to blend it out to kind of do like a sunset-ish look, and I didn't have a shimmer on the lid, I just had a kind of a liner look, and I thought that was quite pretty and fun. A different eyeshadow placement. I know a lot of times I do the same kind of eyeshadow placement of lid shade, deepener, crease shade, but sometimes I like to mix it up. And speaking of this orange shade, I only used it that one time, so not much progress there. This next shade I used 3 times. It was not one that I said I wanted to focus on, but I just really like the shade because it's this nice warm green, and I don't know how well you can see, but it does have a bit of disruption in the pan, a bit of a dent being formed. It is definitely the most full out of all the shades in terms of how much it was filled to the pan. It was to the very top. A lot of other ones are a bit more shallow. I already had a dip just because when I frankened it, it didn't have as much product in the first place. But this one is very full, so I'm glad that I really enjoyed the shade. Now, this next shade is where it's the one kind of exciting event, and that is because I finished up the last of the Franken shade. There was not much left. I only used it 4 times for a total of 12 times in this project because I was using it in previous months in last year's eyeshadow project, but I'm very happy to see it gone. It was fine. I liked it, but not enough to like savor it. I just wanted to use it up at this point. This next shade I did not use at all, and I said I wanted to hit pan on it, so yeah, that didn't happen. I wasn't really feeling the taupey silvers this month, but I also wasn't feeling makeup for a hot second there either. So this shade right here, I said I wanted to completely finish. I used it 12 times, including today. I just use it to brighten under my brow bone and kind of set the primer right there. I don't set my primer, I just put it right there to start, and then it's kind of carving out my brows because my eyeshadow primer doesn't have really any pigment to it, so this is kind of the way I add the color. I just hit pan on it today. I was just making it flatter and flatter, and I had no idea when I would hit pan. Can we acknowledge that voice crack right there? Fantastic. Since I wasn't leaving the house a ton, I realized I didn't want to use this just to use this because I like the brightening effect, but if I'm just going to sit at my desk all day, I kind of want to use this for when I'm actually at least on camera or leaving the house or there's guests coming over or something. So I decided to only use this when I deemed it necessary, just because I know I'm going to finish it this year. That's not going to be a problem. So I don't need to rush through it for the sake of rushing through it. So I'm completely fine with not finishing that. This next shade right here, I wore it once, and that is today in my crease. I thought it would match well with this shirt. One person, I remember at one point, one of my friends told me that this looked like a pony. Like, it just made me look like a pony. I guess because of the texture and the color. And I was like, thanks. Speaking of what I'm wearing on my eyes today, this last one I wore twice this month, including today. I don't really know what to say because it's just very underwhelming progress, but hey, I did hit pan. Albeit it was a very easy thing to hit pan on, and I finished a shade. So there's progress, but not a ton. As for goals for this palette next month, I definitely want to hit pan on this because I don't know how well you can tell, but there is quite a dip going on there. I think this one's the closest to pan compared to all of them. So I want to hit pan in that one. And I definitely want to expand the pan in this just because I think I could do that easily. The last of my Franken shadows are in this little trio, so I'm going to show you a picture of last month compared to this month. So as you can see, it's not much has changed. That's because I didn't use these two at all. I used the green twice, and both times was as a liner. I actually really enjoyed it as a liner, but obviously using a tiny pencil brush and using it just right there isn't gonna make a ton of progress. I don't know if you can see any difference in the pan. As for goals for this palette, I don't have any really. I would love to work on this green a bit more, but I don't think I'll be able to hit pan, especially because I don't want to force myself to use it on the lid or something if I prefer to use it as a liner, at least right now. Moving on from eyeshadows, the first face product I have is a concealer that I Frankened and put in this tiny little Lush container. And as you can see, I finished the green one. Woot woot. I used it to correct redness. It was fine. I just think it was an extra step that I didn't need. Same with this purple. I use it right here and here. I use a very small amount. But as you can see, I made quite a bit of progress. I used it 14 times until the green was done, and then another 4 more times, so a total of 18 times on the purple. So yeah, if I wear makeup more often this next month, I think this guy can be gone. Now this next one is a Franken Brow product, and I believe last time I had a tiny bit left of the previous Franken Brow product, and that is completely done, and I started moving on to this one, which I introduced last time just because there was like a week's worth left of that shade. I used the other brow powder a total of 9 times, and this one 7 times. So a few times in this month I didn't wear brow powder, and I just used my brow gel because I thought my brow powder would look just too intense. I'm wearing it today, but I'm starting to prefer a slightly less intense brow, but also I don't hate this either. It depends on how I'm feeling, and also I kind of just want to use up the 10 billion brown eyeshadows I have that I want to use in my brows because I don't feel like using them on my eyes. So there's probably no visible progress on this because it is a lot thicker than the other one because I Frankened more product into here. I don't think I'll be able to hit pan by next time, but making progress. I finished the other one. Now this guy right here is a Franken cream blush I made. I will put a picture of the lines. As you can see, I made less progress than last time, and that is because I introduced a project 2 weeks ago, I believe, where I am working on 2 blushes. So a combination of wearing makeup less this month and introducing 2 more blushes that I'm trying to use. This guy didn't get used as much. I only used it 12 times, including today, but today I used it very lightly, and most days I use it fairly lightly just because I like it sheer, but if it's really built up, that can be really intense. I'm thinking this next month I might want to challenge myself and use it on my lips and top it with a gloss or something like that. Just to get more use out of it, because reapplying on the lips will definitely help, because I like this, but I also want to see it gone as soon as possible. Now this next product is a product that I was expressing my frustration with last month because I didn't know if I wanted to keep it, if I wanted to continue using it, if it really held the place in my makeup routine. I only used it 7 times this month, but this Franken bronzer, I have decided that I want to continue using it. And the reason I only used it 7 times is because I realized I didn't like it when I used the contour and the bronzer together. It just felt kind of muddy. There's a lot going on my face. But what I realized is they kind of serve the same purpose, but for different looks. Today I'm wearing the contour, which I'll talk about next. I believe last month I was using a brush like this to apply bronzer, which is very big and fluffy, but I found I just didn't like the look. It just, with my skin tone, it just seemed too warm and there was a lot of it and it just wasn't working for me. But once I switched to using the brush that I use for my contour, which is this angled brush, I know my brushes are dirty, I need to wash them today. Anyways, I like using this angled brush and blending it this way because it's more focused. What I realized is for warm tone looks, I prefer using this on my cheeks to add some color and dimension. And for cool tone looks like today, I like wearing the contour one. I think I do prefer the contour one over this. So in the future, I don't think I will buy bronzer, but for now, I am not mad at using this, especially it looks good with warm looks. It's just with the contour, it was just too much. So I found a way I like it, but it'll definitely take a lot longer if I'm alternating uses rather than conjoining them together. So that's fine. I don't think I'll be able to finish it this year because there's probably not much change in the pan, but it would be nice if I could hit pan this year and then maybe finish it next year or however long it takes. But I'm just happy I found a way that I can use it without hating it, and maybe I'll Franken it in the future to make a blush shade or something. But as of now, I'm just going to alternate using it with my contour depending on what eye look or just makeup undertone look I'm doing that day. Now the last Franken product I have is my contour shade, which I was just talking about. I definitely expanded the pans, plural, because I repressed it strangely, obviously, so it's kind of expanding weirdly. I only used it 9 times this month, so I definitely could have made more progress. However, I was multitasking a lot of different eyeshadows, trying to use them up, so I was using it as contour, and so this was kind of on the back burner. So between alternating it between the bronzer and eyeshadows that I was using on my cheeks, this guy did not get used that much, but I'm still happy with the progress I made considering all those things. Yeah, not a ton of progress this update, but considering everything, I think I could have done a lot worse. Hopefully next month will be more eventful, but definitely check out the other people who are doing this. I will link what I can down below. I'm honestly not good at linking things and having anything in my description. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any Franken items that you are panning or that you just made recently for fun and you were enjoying, and what kind of colors you made. But with that said, I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that you have an amazing day. Bye!